Your Father is a constant source of strength and protection. He's there to encourage you when you're down and push you forward when you feel like giving up.
For many years, Jonathan Osteen lived under the shadow of his famous father, Joel Osteen. Many expected him to follow the same path. But as Jonathan turned 31, questions grew about his choices, beliefs, and the direction he had taken. Instead of stepping fully into the spotlight, he chose a different path that surprised many. Now, people are asking why. Did he step away for a reason? What has he finally revealed? Join us to find out. Jonathan Osteen finally admits what we all suspected. Jonathan Osteen was once seen by many people as the most likely person to one day follow his father, Joel Osteen, as a leader at Lakewood Church. He grew up in the public eye and was often seen with his family. Many viewers believed he was being prepared to continue the family's ministry. Lakewood Church is one of the largest churches in the United States. Thousands of people attend services every week, while millions more watch through television, books, and social media. The Osteen family is one of the most recognized families in modern Christianity. Jonathan was different from other members of his family. He was naturally quiet, thoughtful, and more interested in music than public speaking. While his father and sister appeared comfortable in front of large crowds, Jonathan allegedly preferred working behind the scenes. This difference is one reason why some people questioned whether he truly wanted a public ministry. According to rumors, Jonathan slowly became less visible at church events. His public appearances became less frequent, his presence in promotional material reportedly declined, and his social media activity became quiet. No public explanation was given for these changes. Because of this, many people began sharing different ideas online about why he was no longer appearing as often. Jonathan allegedly experienced pressure because many people expected him to continue the family's ministry. Jonathan developed a strong interest in music production and creative work. He allegedly preferred spending time learning music rather than preparing to preach. Jonathan's quieter public life became one of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Osteen family. Jonathan Osteen's quieter public life was only the beginning of a much bigger story. As time passed, rumors says that Jonathan Osteen allegedly began asking deeper questions about faith and the direction of the ministry around him. He became interested in reading the Bible for himself and comparing what he read with the messages he had heard growing up. Jonathan allegedly wondered why the Bible speaks so often about serving the poor, carrying one's cross, and enduring suffering, if many modern sermons place such a strong focus on victory, success, and prosperity. These alleged questions became a turning point in Jonathan's life. This was not a period of rebellion. Instead, Jonathan was allegedly searching for answers and wanted to understand his faith on a deeper level. Jonathan was not trying to attack anyone. He was simply trying to understand what he believed. Then there is an anonymous essay called The Sound of Leaving. It is alleged the essay was written by the son of a famous father who left the family business. Many readers believed Jonathan Osteen may have been the author because they felt the writing sounded similar to his story. However, the essay is anonymous and offers no proof that Jonathan wrote it. No public confirmation from Jonathan has identified him as the author. Jonathan allegedly faced growing pressure as conversations about the future of Lakewood Church became more serious. He was expected not only to preach but also to help lead a large ministry with many different activities. Jonathan eventually chose not to continue along that path. Jonathan allegedly moved to California and focused on music instead of public ministry. He started music projects under his own name and built a quieter life away from the spotlight. Jonathan reportedly married in a private ceremony and chose to stay away from public attention. Jonathan became involved in quiet volunteer work, including helping homeless people, supporting community projects, and taking part in environmental and mental health activities. Joel Osteen's public ministry, with Jonathan's alleged private lifestyle, confirms the suspicion of both father and son having different paths. One path focused on speaking to large crowds, while the other allegedly focused on quiet acts of service. Jonathan may have chosen a different way of living out his faith, while Jonathan was quietly building a different life. Was Lakewood Church beginning to face challenges that many people could no longer ignore? Stay tuned for more. Lakewood Church and Joel Osteen. Something has quietly changed at Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. The church that was once known for attracting huge crowds every Sunday is now seeing fewer people attend its services. Many parking spaces that were once full are now empty, and some overflow areas are no longer being used. Allegedly, around 20,000 regular members have left the church. This information was revealed by an alleged source. Joel Osteen became the senior pastor of Lakewood Church after the death of his father, John Osteen, in 1999. This leadership transition is a matter of public record. The church experienced rapid growth during Joel Osteen's leadership and eventually moved into the former Compaq Center after a major renovation. Joel Osteen's positive message about hope, faith, encouragement, and God's blessings helped make Lakewood one of the largest and most recognized churches in the United States. This growth is seen as the foundation of the church's success over the past 2 decades. Many people were attracted because they believed the church offered encouragement without focusing heavily on guilt, judgment, or difficult subjects. This approach became extremely popular and helped Joel Osteen build a worldwide audience through television, books, conferences, and public appearances. While these points describe Joel Osteen's public ministry, people still have a different opinion and criticism about this type of gospel message. Attention is brought back to Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Many people questioned why Lakewood Church did not immediately open as a shelter after severe flooding affected Houston. The church initially stated that flooding made the building inaccessible. However, there are alleged photographs shared online that made some people believe they raised questions about that explanation. Lakewood Church later opened its doors, and Joel Osteen publicly stated the church had always intended to help once city officials requested assistance. This event caused some members to question the church's public image. Another criticism comes from the discovery of cash and checks inside a wall at Lakewood Church in 2021. The money was connected to a theft reported in 2014 involving approximately $600,000. Joel Osteen was never accused of participating in the theft. Instead, the discovery raised questions among some observers about security procedures and how the earlier investigation had unfolded. These separate events gradually caused some people to rethink their opinions of the church. Although no single event explains the reported decline in attendance, several controversies and public discussions may have combined over time, leading some former members to leave. But after all the criticism and controversy, one question still remains. Why have so many people reportedly decided to leave Lakewood Church? Keep watching for more. Possible cause and explanation of decline. The reported decline at Lakewood Church cannot be explained by one controversy alone. The larger issue is that some former members allegedly began questioning whether the church's message matched their own life experiences. This is allegedly assumed to be the main reason why some people reportedly chose to leave. Although there is no provided survey data or independently verified research proving that this was the reason for every person who stopped attending. However, rumors and claims, probably from ex-members, might have triggered this explanation. The prosperity message became harder for some members to accept over time. Many people faithfully attended services, gave offerings, bought books, and listened to sermons for years because they believed that faith and positive thinking would lead to greater blessings. For some members, those expected changes never came. Rumors say that some people continued facing financial struggles, health problems, family difficulties, or personal disappointments despite remaining committed to the church. This is one possible explanation for why some members allegedly became discouraged. Many also have focused on Joel Osteen's personal wealth. It notes that he lives in a large home and states that he no longer receives a salary from Lakewood Church, saying that his income comes from book sales and speaking engagements. These are public claims that have been widely reported. However, some critics believe many church members still see a contrast between the comfortable lifestyle of the church's pastor and the financial struggles experienced by some members. This comparison is presented as the opinion of critics. Another point raised is that some former members allegedly felt the sermons became repetitive. Messages about hope, victory, positive thinking, and expecting blessings remained largely the same year after year. Some people eventually wanted deeper teaching on difficult subjects such as suffering, doubt, forgiveness, sacrifice, and spiritual growth. These members felt they were hearing encouragement, but not enough detailed teaching on the wider message of Christianity. Younger generations may be viewing large churches differently from previous generations. Many younger Christians are more willing to ask difficult questions about church leadership, finances, and theology. Because people today can easily access sermons, Bible teachers, podcasts, and online discussions from around the world, they are able to compare different viewpoints more easily than in the past. This wider access to information may encourage some people to explore churches with different teaching styles. Some former members allegedly chose smaller churches where they felt they could build closer relationships with pastors and other members. Others reportedly stepped away from organized churches altogether while continuing to describe themselves as people of faith. According to critics, what is happening is not the result of one dramatic scandal, but rather a gradual change in how some people view the church. So far, there have been no criminal charges against Joel Osteen connected to the issues discussed, nor does one single event explain the real cause of reported attendance changes. Instead, several controversies, public debates, personal disappointments, and changing expectations have combined over time to influence some members' decisions. Joel Osteen continues to preach every week, publish books, and speak at events across the country. Lakewood Church remains one of the best-known churches in America and still attracts thousands of worshipers. As these massive churches continue to grow and attract millions of followers, one important question began to emerge. What happens when the very model that created their success starts facing new challenges? Let's delve deeper. The rise of the megachurch movement and the beginning of change. For many years, the megachurch was seen as one of the biggest success stories in American Christianity. These churches started small, but over time, they became some of the largest religious organizations in the country. Every week, thousands of people gathered under one roof to worship, listen to sermons, and take part in church activities. Many of these churches built huge campuses with bookstores, coffee shops, children's centers, and modern stages that looked more like concert halls than traditional churches. Services were carefully planned, with music, large video screens, and professional lighting. For many people, attending one of these churches became an experience that went beyond a normal Sunday service. It became part of their lifestyle. As the movement grew, more churches followed the same pattern. Leaders wanted to remove anything they believed might make first-time visitors uncomfortable. They introduced modern music instead of traditional hymns. Pastors dressed casually instead of wearing robes. Sermons became shorter and easier to understand. The goal was simple: make church feel welcoming to everyone, especially people who had never attended before. This idea became known as the seeker-sensitive model. It helped many churches grow faster than anyone expected. One of the churches often discussed in conversations about this movement was Willow Creek Community Church. Its leaders wanted to know whether the church's rapid growth was helping people grow spiritually. A study carried out by the church suggested that while many members faithfully attended services, volunteered, and joined church programs, some still felt spiritually empty. Church leaders later acknowledged that attending services alone was not enough. People also needed to build their personal relationship with God outside church through Bible reading, prayer, and personal study. Even with these findings, many churches continued using similar methods because they had already proven successful at attracting large crowds. During the same period, pastors who focused on hope, positive thinking, and personal success became increasingly popular. Their messages encouraged people to believe that God wanted them to overcome difficulties and expect better days ahead. Millions found comfort in these messages. Television broadcasts reached homes around the world. Books written by well-known pastors became bestsellers. Churches expanded into larger buildings, opened new ministries, and reached audiences that previous generations could hardly imagine. Among the most recognized was Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. Under Joel Osteen's leadership, it grew into one of America's largest churches after moving into the former Compaq Center. His hopeful messages reached audiences worldwide, making him one of the best-known Christian pastors. Large attendance numbers became a sign of success. New campuses opened. More television programs were launched. More books were published. The movement seemed stronger every year. Then everything changed in 2020. When the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the world, churches closed their doors for a period of time. Like many other organizations, they quickly moved online. Services were streamed through television, websites, and social media. Church leaders expected members to return once buildings reopened. Instead, many churches discovered that attendance did not immediately return to previous levels. Across the country, many congregations reported fewer people attending services than before the pandemic. Some members had become comfortable worshiping from home. Others began asking deeper questions about their faith and what they wanted from church. Many people also discovered that they could listen to sermons, Bible teachers, and Christian scholars from anywhere in the world using their phones or computers. This changed the way many believers learned about their faith. According to many observers, the internet removed one of the biggest advantages large churches once had. Instead of driving long distances every Sunday, people could easily watch respected teachers online. As attendance began to change, one question remained. Why were some members walking away from the megachurch experience? Let's find out. Why some people are rethinking the megachurch experience. As attendance patterns began changing across many churches in America, questions started growing about why some people were no longer returning to large worship gatherings at the same level as before. The reasons are complex, and different people have different experiences. However, according to discussions surrounding the changing church landscape, several major issues have been identified as possible reasons why some members began searching for a different kind of religious experience. One major concern has been the focus on numbers and growth. For many years, the success of a church was often measured by how many people attended services, how large the building was, and how much influence the ministry had. Large crowds, impressive facilities, and global media platforms became signs of achievement. However, some critics of the megachurch model have argued that focusing too heavily on growth can sometimes move attention away from deeper spiritual development. They believe that a church can have thousands of attendees but still struggle to create strong personal connections among members. Some former members of large churches have said they wanted more than an impressive Sunday experience. They wanted stronger relationships, deeper conversations, and more opportunities to discuss difficult questions about faith and life. Another issue often discussed is the role of entertainment in modern church services. Many megachurches invested heavily in professional music, lighting, video production, and stage presentations. Supporters argue that these tools help create an engaging worship experience and allow churches to reach more people. However, critics have questioned whether a highly produced service can sometimes make church feel more like a performance than a place for spiritual growth. Some people who left large churches have explained that they began searching for smaller communities where they felt more personally connected and involved. The growth of online technology also changed how people interact with religion. Before the internet became widely available, large churches had an advantage because they could provide high-quality sermons, professional broadcasts, and large events that were difficult for smaller churches to match. Today, anyone with internet access can watch sermons, listen to religious podcasts, and study different perspectives from teachers around the world. This has changed the way many people learn about faith. Some no longer feel the need to attend a large church building to access religious content. Instead, they can create their own learning experience from home. Younger generations have also shifted attitudes toward organized religion. Many seek authenticity, honest discussions, and communities that address real-life struggles. According to some observers, this has challenged traditional megachurch models, which often emphasize encouragement, success, and consistently positive messages. Several well-known churches in America have experienced leadership controversies over the years. These situations have led some people to question how large religious organizations handle power, accountability, and responsibility. The challenges facing many megachurches today have raised questions about the future of large religious institutions and the role younger generations want to play in them. For Jonathan Osteen, his decision to focus on music instead of following the traditional path of ministry shows a different approach to faith and personal expression. While there is no confirmed explanation for his career choice, his move away from the spotlight of church leadership and toward a creative path reflects a growing shift among some younger people who are searching for a more personal and individual way to connect with their beliefs. What do you think about Jonathan Osteen's path? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for joining us as we explored the story of Jonathan Osteen, his journey away from the spotlight, and the changing landscape of modern megachurches. If you found this report interesting, please like and subscribe. Click on the next video for more fascinating stories. See you there.